Okay, so picture this. The absolute engine of the U.S. housing market just, out of nowhere, breaks up with one of the most advanced AI companies on the entire planet. Now, this isn't just another tech story. Oh no. This is a huge political clash with some pretty serious consequences for how technology and government are going to have to live together from now on.
And look, this isn't just some rumor. These are the actual words from Bill Pulte. He's the director of the agency that oversees Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. You know, the two giants that back a massive chunk of all U.S. mortgages. And with that one sentence, boom, he drew a brand new, very clear line in the sand for the entire tech industry.
So what is really at the heart of all this? Well, you've got Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, these absolute pillars of the U.S. mortgage market, and they've just cut ties with Anthropic, a huge player in the AI world. But the crazy part is, this wasn't about buggy code or some kind of system failure. It was all about a clash of ideals. Which brings us to the big question, right? Why? I mean, why would these massive institutions just drop a key AI partner seemingly right out of the blue? Well, the answer really pulls back the curtain on a major fight that's been brewing between Silicon Valley and Washington for a while now.
When you boil it all down, this is really a clash of principles. This wasn't some simple contract dispute. Nope. It was a fundamental disagreement about what AI should be used for, and maybe more importantly, what it shouldn't be used for.
So on one side, you have Anthropic. They literally built ethical rules right into their AI, saying, hey, you can't use our tech for stuff like mass surveillance or military weapons. But on the other side, you've got the government looking at those exact same rules and seeing them as a potential roadblock to national security.
You know, this whole thing really comes down to a concept called AI governance. The easiest way to think about it is like a rule book for how we use artificial intelligence. So this wasn't just a business disagreement. It was basically a fight over who gets to write that rule book.
Okay, so these two housing giants just broke up with their AI partner. What happens now? Does this mean your mortgage application is suddenly going to get lost in the shuffle? Well, surprisingly, the answer is not really, at least not for now. The official line is that there are no immediate changes to how mortgages are processed. So you might be thinking, if the immediate fallout is so small, why should we even care about this?
Well, the reason is pretty simple. Fannie and Freddie are enormous organizations. They've got plenty of other tech partners and tons of in-house expertise. They can just hand off the work to someone else. But listen, the immediate impact isn't the real story here. The real story is the precedent this whole thing sets.
Exactly. Because this isn't about the initial splash, it's about the ripples. This one decision sends out a powerful message that goes way, way beyond the housing market. It's actually changing the rules for any tech company that wants to do business with the government.
Think about how it used to work. In the past, when the government was checking out a tech company, they were mostly worried about outside threats, cybersecurity risks, foreign influence, that kind of thing. But now, for the first time, they're looking inside the company, at the core principles and ethics of American AI developers themselves.
And that's the crucial point right there. What just happened in the housing market has set a powerful new precedent. It's a clear signal to every single company working in a federally regulated sector.
I mean, just think about where else this could play out. Industries like defense, healthcare, banking, they all exist at this exact same intersection of technology and national interest. The playbook that was just run in the housing world could absolutely be applied to any one of them.
So all of this brings us to the new reality. The new rules of the game for any tech company that wants to work with the government or even just operate in a regulated industry.
In the past, the government's checklist for a tech partner was pretty simple. Does it work? And is it secure? But now there's a huge new third question on that list, and it might be the most important one. Do your company's values align with our national policies?
And honestly, this is the ultimate takeaway. We often think of technology just marching forward, driven purely by innovation. Who can build the fastest chip or the smartest algorithm. But what this event shows us is that from now on, policy and politics are going to have just as much say in shaping the future of AI.
Which leaves us with this final, fascinating, and kind of huge question. As AI gets woven into every part of our lives, these kinds of collisions are going to happen more and more often. So, when a tech company's principles slam into a government's priorities, who gets to decide which path we all take?